Hi, good afternoon. This is Don Maxwell with Live IT Academy, and we are continuing our series on Excel. And today's topic will be creating a pie chart. Now, you have created column charts in the past, and you've noticed how you can compare values across categories. Well, with a pie chart, it's useful for comparing percentages or parts or whole. All right, so like a column chart, we're going to invoke the pie chart. It's the similar steps, right? But with the exception that you should understand when you're doing charts, there are many different types of charts used for different purposes, right? So the pie chart is going to be used for comparing wholes. So let's look at our report. Of course, our report is regional sales. And so what we want to compare is what are the sales between East, West, North, and South, total sales. So if we were to compare total sales between East, West, North, or so based on the total values, all right? So one way of invoking my chart is to select the data first. So I'm going to go ahead and select the data. But here's what you can do. You can select non-adjacent columns. The way you select non-adjacent columns is use the control key on your keyboard. So I'm going to hold the control key down while I use my mouse to select the total sales. So as you can see, regions are selected as well as the total sales are selected. So that's the data that I want for my pie chart because I want to know what percentage each region, what percentage each sales made in each of the regions. All right, so let's go ahead and invoke the chart. We know to go to Insert, Charts, and we're going to pick the pie chart, right? Pie chart or donut chart. And again, use when the total of your number is 100%, right? So we're assuming that this is our total sales, and we want to know what percentage across the regions. All right, so let's go ahead and click down arrow. And today I'm going to pick the 3D, but notice that you have a 2D pie chart as well as you have a donut, right? And more types of pie chart, but I'm just going to pick this 3D pie chart, right? And again, this is by invoking the pie chart, right? And because I have the total sales here, you notice that the chart title sales, you also note at the bottom that we have the legend already, right? And how many numbers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So the number is based on 4 parts, right? So, and again, knowing that the North has the higher portion, right? And the West has the second highest, and so the East, right? So you could actually see the color coding as well as you go around in the percentage. So if I look at the series, the total point, these are my data points now, right? And then notice the percentage next to each data point. This is 27%. This 26% in the West, right? In the East, 24%, and in the South, 23%. So if I should look at this chart, I know that the South did less than the rest of the regions, and if you look over here, the North did more than the rest of the regions. So that's how you use a pie chart. So we can also enhance our pie chart, right? We could create labels, right? And similar to how we enhance the column chart, we can go ahead and enhance our pie chart. So let's click on the chart elements. So far we have a chart title and we have the legend. How about the labels? Let's put some chart labels on. I'm just going to move my chart down here. Notice my chart is floating. The last chart that I have can be floating on top of all the charts here. All right, so I'm going to click on the chart element, and I'm going to go in and say I want labels on my chart, but I can specify where my label should be. Should it be centered, inside end, or outside, or best fit, or even a data call, right? And of course, I have more options that will give me a template, and we're going to look at that later to see how we can adjust our charts using more features on the template. As you know, that when we did the column chart, we had color fills and alignments and other tools available to us. So this is no different, okay? All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to say I want the data labels to be centered. All right, so I'm going to click on that. Right, and of course, I want to be able to change my title. So let's go ahead and click on the title. And just like we did the column chart, you're simply going to type your new title in the formula bar. All right, so I'm simply going to type regional sales, and I can fix that in any errors that I have in the formula bar. Regional sales for first quarter. And when I press the enter button, it should go in to my title, right? Now, so one of the things that we've learned to do when we're enhancing a chart, any chart, we simply click on the titles, right? And as I said, we can format. We can go in and put a format style on the title, all right? And what do we want to format it as? Oh, we'll just use that, right? Similar to the legend, right? So notice how our charts differ a little bit, but we still have a plot area as well as we have a chart area, right? So we can actually make the chart bigger, right? And we can show the plot area that's inside where the chart is. All right, of course, you know the plot area is. All right, and for some of you who want to extend your chart, remember you use the sizing handles, and you can drag the sizing handles. So you place the cursor on the sizing handles, and then just drag the diagonal. Right. Remember, you do have horizontal or vertical, but that's how your chart would be stretched. Right. So by stretching it diagonal, you're keeping the horizontal and the vertical in the same ratio. Therefore, you won't have too much height or too much width on your chart. Okay? All right, so we've seen where we can do the chart title. Again, above the plot area, or centered or overlay in the plot area. Right? Legend, the same thing. Where do we want the legend? On the side or on the bottom, left or top, right? And we're going to do our legend over because it can change by doing that. So I'm going to go to format, and I'm just going to pick, all right, summer. Okay, so today's chart, we know that there are many other features that we can set up on our chart, right? For example, of course, we know the various styles that you can pick from. Right? To show the actual amount, or if you want to show it in percentage, you can do that as well. So we can show the actual amount. Keep in mind that you do have a gallery here, right, with styles and colors, right? So you can pick different colors as well. Right? It's probably the most colorful. And you can see the percentages that the least 23% and the most 27%, right? So we're looking at a pie chart here. All right. And we do have filters as well, right? Which is really cool because you can show or highlight one region over the other if that's what you choose to do. Right, so we have values and names, right, on the filter, and again, you can pick from chart layout, different pre-designed chart layouts, and you can pick from the chart elements, which is the chart title, the data label, and legend. So you see, there are less features on a pie chart than on a column chart, right? For many reasons. Of course, the data is much less, right? So the next thing I want to do is, because of the feature, I'm just going to put these back, right? So the next thing I want to do is to save my chart, and I'm going to save it on a new sheet. So on my chart tools, I'm going to click on design, and I'm going to move my chart to a new sheet. All right, so that new sheet is going to be sheet 1. All right, so I'm going to move to a new sheet. Oh, I'm not putting it on as an object, so I don't need to create sheet 1. I'm just going to put it whatever name that I give the sheet. That's what it's going to be. So what name am I going to give the sheet? Regional sales. For first quarter, and that's what would appear on my sheet name as well. Okay, so let's see how that works. Say okay, and as it creates the sheet, notice the name appears, right? So the sheet 1 is only if I was going to put it as an object on a spreadsheet. Notice here there is no worksheet, right? This is on a plain sheet by itself. Not to can be adjusted, but again, you got to see that it's not on the worksheet, right? So we don't have the other function as the worksheets, right? So what other things that we can do with our pie chart? Well, here is the largest amount, right? So what if I pull the largest amount? Can I pull the largest amount apart? Can I pull my chart apart in different ways? Absolutely can do that, right? Right, so I can pull my chart apart. I can even pull this one slice, right? See it. All I'm doing is using my mouse, the select button, and I'm just dragging, right? So if you wanted to drag that one slice, notice I click on it and notice the data points. We have seen data points before, right? And because I have my data points now, I can pull that slice apart, just like that. And the way I do it is to use the mouse, right? I must see the sizing handles on the slice that I'm pulling apart. Then I hold on to the select button, which is my left mouse button, and I pull just a little bit, right? And that will pull the slice apart, right? Other things I could do, I can right click on that slice, and I could say format my data point or format my label, right? And here I have format data label, right? So I can I could even change the size and properties of the label itself, right? I can increase the label size and width, right? And remember, even if I want to color it, I could fill it with a different color, solid, right? Oh, colors, right? And I can move the labels by double clicking. One click, all the labels are selected. Double click, I'm just selecting this one label, right? And I can move it around on my pie, right? So if I wanted to highlight this as a major value, that's what I would do, right? Make it outstanding by simply highlighting, right? So I can highlight the label. Remember, one click, select all, double click, select individual labels. Okay? Now, you wonder with a pie chart, again, you can choose to color the different areas as well. So the chart option, right? Chart area, if you wanted to make it solid color. And to show you that there is also a plot area, right? We can make that another solid color, and instead of blue, we can make that little gray, right? And similar to what we did, we can apply special effects like 3D and so on. So I could go in and say, make this a 3D and make it beveled edge, right? That's the outer here area here, right? You make that a little bigger. The plot area is what I'm making a little bigger. All right. So, and similar I can do to the chart area, right? If I want the chart area to be beveled edge, right? And don't forget, I still have border colors that I can change the border. I can make this, I actually could make this part of my pie glow if I wanted to, or put a shadow on there if I want to. Shadow. Right, so you can see the shadow right underneath it, right? Depends on what size I make the shadow. But you can actually see the dark shadow under that slice. Okay? All right, so the chart itself can be printed because it's not on a worksheet. It's not in a spreadsheet, right? So it can be printed directly to the printer because it's selected like this. So if I go to File, Print, just the chart, right? Or it could be printed as a page, as a part of a book, right? So if I had multiple charts and I wanted to print it as a book, not just active spreadsheet, but print entire book, right? You see that that's my data, that's my first chart, and I can go to my next page, which is this chart, right? So understand why we use different charts, especially pie chart should be easy to understand. It is parts or a part to a whole, or a percentage of whole percentage of different parts. Okay, understand that you can put it on a chart sheet. By the way, a chart sheet in a workbook contains only the chart, as you see, right? It does not contain any of the worksheet cells, right? Okay, so beginning, remember what we did, right? We had to actually select the data, We said we can select the portion of data using the control key. You can select non-adjacent data, right? Hold the control key down and you can press non-adjacent data. I select one column, hold the control key down, and I select the other. That's non-adjacent columns. That's the data that I've used to plot the pie chart, okay? All right, other key things, right? You can pull out or explode a pie slice from the pie chart. This is to emphasize particular values, right? And all I did was click on the chart, click on one slice, and I just drag it away from the pie itself, right? And that's what you got. Also, labels, right, can be configured. Labels actually can be configured in different ways. We can focus just on the labels themselves, right? And you can right click and go to change label shape, right? You can change the shape of the label. You can format the data labels itself. You can affect the series, right? So there's really no difference in terms of the features that we use to handle the chart, right? Right? You have the chart tools, right? You have the styles and the filter available still. You have your design and your design gallery available to you just the same way we have it here. You have the elements. You can add labels, chart titles, right? Right. We've already affected the colors. You saw how we did that. So the design data is still available to us. We can even go to the move chart and move it to a data sheet or as an object on a spreadsheet, right? And we have the format, right? So you can reset to match just like we did the column chart, right? We can see the different areas. Notice that we don't have a lot of objects like we do a column chart, but nevertheless, we have the chart area, the title area, we have the legend, we have the plot area, and we have the data series. That's what we need here, right? And you saw I use shapes. We can affect the labels by using the shapes, even call outs if we have to, right? You saw that we can use different styles, right? And of course, we can also use the word art, right? We can use word art on our labels, right? So we have the fill, we have the shapes, and we have the effects, right? Different effects, how we want. Right? Okay, so it's so easy to create a pie chart. Remember how you select your data and remember why you would use the pie chart over a column chart. Great work, and continue to practice creating a pie chart as well as a column chart and become very comfortable with creating charts with your data. Good job, and I will see you in the next module.